Now we're going to create the Windows slave. But before I create the slave, I have to do something very important to make sure that the Windows slave can talk to the Jenkins master. And the way what I need to do is I need to go to configure global security. And then underneath global security, you're going to see an entry called agents TCP port for JNLP agents, and I need to click that to random, and that's going to enable the web launch that's required on the Windows slave in order to talk to the Jenkins master. So you got to make sure you do that. All right, so after that's done, let's go back to Jenkins, and let's go to Manage Jenkins, and now let's go down here to Manage Node. If I can find there. So I'm going to go to Manage Node, and we're going to add a new node, and we're going to call this node, let's see, we're going to call it, we'll call it WinSlave, okay? I'm going to make it a permanent agent. We're going to go OK. And now things are going to get a little tricky. And so instead of wasting your time watching my bad typing, let me go and get the data that needs to be put in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to tell the the Linux master server where the remote directory on the slave is. And we're going to have all the work done in a C:\Jenkins directory. And actually, I'm going to change the name so things are consistent throughout between the documentation and the video. I'm going to change the name to WinBuild server. And then after that's done, okay, it's going to say, how do we want to launch? And this is important. I'm going to say launch via the agent, the Java Web Start. And that's important. And then I'm going to tell Jenkins, when it talks to the Windows server, the remote Windows server, is to put all its logging information and all the stuff that's not particularly relevant to the workspace build, to put it in this directory on the Windows server. And this is just arbitrary to my machine. It'll be to your machine, it can be just as arbitrary. And that's not a big deal. So anyway, so now that I've defined the Windows slave, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to save the information. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the Windows server, and I'm going to go into Jenkins, the same place. Let me go to HTTP:/, and then let's see, and this is my local server, 192.1, let's see, oh, excuse me, 186. Let me see if I can remember this. .86. .33. I think it is. Let's see if that's it. Oops, that's not it. Let's go back and find the real URL. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry about that. So let's copy this, and I'm just going to do a strict copy between virtual desktop and my Mac system. So I'll go over here. Sorry about that. Okay, and there it is. Okay, and now I'm over in, I'm on my server machine. So I'm going to go back to Jenkins, and I'm going into, let's see, I'm going to go into Manage Nodes, and I'm going to go to the Build server. And now you can see I have some additional information on the side, and it's saying, hey, this is how you're going to talk to the Linux master. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do two things. The first thing it does is it wants me to download the agent jar, which I'm going to do. Okay, and I'm going to say, yes, that's all right, keep it. And then I'm going to take the agent jar, and just for my sense of order, because I like to keep everything in one place, I'm going to put the jar in my C Jenkins folder, which I made previously. I'm going to put the jar there. Okay, one down. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, in Windows, I'm going to do a, I'm I'm going to create a bat file. And I'm going to see, I'm going to go new. So it takes a while, and I'm going to make a new text document. Okay. And I'm going to call this, let's see, we'll call it Jenkins bind to master. And I'll make it a bat file. Oh, okay. And I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to edit it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab the whole command line. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go CD. And I'm going to put it here to my, oops, typo. To my, I'm going to go in my, just to make sure, so no matter where on my system this file is, I'm always talking to the Jenkins directory. Okay, I'm going to change to Jenkins, and then I'm going to run the connection information right from the bat file. And so let me save this. Okay, and I'll close it up, and then I'll go back to here, and now I'm going to run it, and now you can see some stuff's going on. And what's happening is the Windows server is trying to talk to the Jenkins server. And it's taking a little time. Okay, and it's connected. All right, so now theoretically, if we go back to the nodes, we see that the WinBuild server is very happy. And if we go over to my Macintosh instance and refresh, you can see that again, it's reporting that the build server is very happy. So now the Jenkins master is talking to the Windows build server.